I told him about the class. He said, okay, he will. But not upload it now.
All right. Okay, so we are going to be working on our funding contracts. So for those of us that are still having challenge navigating around VS Code, so I'm going to open a new folder. All right. Okay, not new file now. It's a new folder. So I'm going to open folder. Go to the directory I want my. So this is going to be the folder I'm going to be using. All right. So as you can see that my folder is empty. All right. So as you can see, my folder is empty. So I will open my terminal.
Please come again.
Just mute your mic and listen to me. Okay, so I said that my folder is empty. I opened the folder from my system directory. All right, I've created this folder before now. All right, for me found, I've created it before now. So I just go and open the folder. Now, whatever I'm going to be doing here is going to be saved in the folder on my local directory. That is my system. Okay, so for us to create new projects, so let's just forge in it. And all right, so I've created a new project. Okay, all right, so we see that our Forge STD is installed and initialized projects. Our project has been initialized. Now, if you create a new project and we don't get this output, all right, you have to redo it again. Okay, probably if they tell you something is wrong with your Forge STD installment and all that, you have to redo it again so that that issue when you are deploying your contracts, all right, or while doing your production phase or anything, you won't have any challenge. All right, so as you all know, we have the script, we have the source files, we have the test files. Okay, so in this class we'll be learning how to write tests. Okay, I think the last time we talking about for me, we deployed our contracts using scripts. Okay, and then we didn't talk about tests. But in this class, we'll be talking about tests, and this is the main contract. All right, this is a very simple demo contract to give us like a a demo. All right, an example of what it should be. Okay, so this is an example of scripts. Okay, and this is an example of a test file. All right, so this is an example of a test file. This is an example. These are our main contracts, and this is script to run our contracts.
So I have a question.
Okay. All right. Your question, please.
This counter dot so under the test and under the source, were you the one that put it there?
No. Once you create a file, once you create a project, it's yours. It just come automatically like default.
Okay.
All right, so we are going to delete it since we don't want it. All right, going to delete it since we don't want it. All right, now we we are going to be bringing in our simple storage contract here, and then so let's create a new file under source, and let's call it I say simple storage, sorry, fund me dot so. Okay, so this is going to be fund me dot so. So we'll come to uh our remis. So let me change view to all so you see what I'm doing all together. So come to remis.so and just copy everything that's here. So I just copy the contract, come to my VS Code and paste it. Okay. All right, so I'll create another new file. I'll call it price converter dot so. All right, so I'll come back to my remis. I think I have it here. Price converter. So come and copy it and paste it here. All right, so always remember that if you see this white dot here, that means it's not saved yet. So I'll just save it. I'll just save it. All right, now there are some little, just one or two changes that have been made to this contract since the last time we saw this contract. Okay, and one of the changes is our named error. All right, so it was um it was like this. Okay, so error not owner. All right, so we wrote an error. All right, and then it is wise that we we name our error according to our contract so that we know where the error is coming from. Okay, so that's why we have it like this: fund me slash underscore the name of our error, so that when the error comes, we know that okay, this error is coming from the fund me contract. Okay, all right, so that's one. Then secondly, we made our owner immutable. I think I talked about it, or made our owner immutable. So making our owner immutable. All right. So for making our owner immutable, we have to change the naming convention. We have to change the naming convention to I underscore owner. All right. So that the it will, that's how we name immutable variables. All right, so where is owner again? I think we have one more owner here. Yeah, one more owner here. So this guy is going to be I underscore. Okay, so that's how we name immutables. Okay, so we made it immutable. And so what else? What else? What else? What else have we done? All right, so this was I think there was a typo here. This was funders equals to funders. I just removed the S here and remove the S here, and that's it. Okay, so that's it for the fund me contracts. Let me see. Okay, no changes here. Let me see. All right, so if we come here and now we come here and let's compare. Let's compare. So come and say purge build. Okay, now we're going to have an error. And the error we're going to have is going to be this chain link contract, blah, 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 blah. Now, that's coming from here, our aggregator. Okay, it's coming from this, our import aggregator. Now, when we do this, when we deploy our contracts in Remis, all right, so Remis automatically uses the npm of the GitHub npm to deploy it, to run it, and runs very well. All right, it doesn't work the same way with VS Code. So we're going to be installing the dependencies that will enable our VS Code, okay, our VS Code to interact with our importations. All right, so we are going to be using this GitHub repo. All right, chainlink.brownies/contract. Okay, so if we now this contains all the contracts we're going to be needed. All right, all the contracts we're going to be needing will be inside here. All right. So we're going to be installing it. So for us to install it, you'll come to your VS Code. All right, and let me just clear this guy. All right, so you come to your VS Code so that we can get all our dependencies inside our file. All right, we'll come to our VS Code and say forge install. All right, so we're going to be installing this guy. So you can copy this guy. Okay, let's copy it from here. Copy. Okay, let me. Oh, sorry. Let me just type it. Let me just type it. It's like this copying and pasting is not working for me. All right, so we say install smart contracts kits slash chain link bunny contracts. All right, and now the for us to be sure that we are all using one. Now this is the latest version. Okay, this is the latest version, so we're going to be installing this version. All right, so this is 1.3.0. So we're going to come and say oh, sorry. All right, so you add the new commit. Okay, so maybe later we'll talk about this. Okay, so let's just install it. All right, so if you try installing it and you have challenge installing it, okay, now if your installation fail, all right, you want to clone the repository, and then after cloning it you can reinstall it and to definitely install. Now if you find it challenging, you can always use the help of AI. ChatGPT is your friend, okay, and it's going to guide you now to do it. Okay, so we are almost done with our installation. All right, so you can see here that we've installed it. Now if you come to this slide, you'll see chaining branding contracts. All right, if you come to this chaining branding contracts, before now, we didn't have chaining branding contracts here. We installed it in your very before. In fact, everything. All right, so when you come down, you will see everything that we'll be needing, all the contracts you'll be seeing here. All right, if you come to source, come to interfaces. Okay, I think. All right, so you see that we have different types of contracts here. So we can import. So we don't have to import it from GitHub. All right, we have the GitHub here in our in our um folder already. Okay, so now even the aggregator, let me see if I can. I think the aggregator is somewhere around here. All right, I can't find the aggregator now, but even this aggregator v3 interface is here. Let me see if I can get it, if I can fetch it. But if I can't, um Probably I'll show you us later if I still have the time. Okay, so we don't have to um install, like, do it the way we did it in in our remis. So everything is here. Everything is here. Okay, so the second thing we are going to be doing, all right, the second thing we are going to be doing is that we're going to come to um foundry.tomo file. All right, we'll we'll have to tell Forge, all right, we'll have to tell Forge Foundry to redirect us to this chainlink.browning whenever we are asked to use the lib file. You understand? Whenever we are asked to use this lib, okay, it should direct us to chainlink.browning. Um, chainlinks dash browning. All right, this guide I've installed. All right, should always be redirecting us here. So how do we do that? Okay, so we'll write a remapping for it. Right, so we are mapping. All right, so we are going to say this directory, our chain link, this directory is going to be equal to this guy. Okay, so we're going to save it. Now, if we come back and let's build. Oh, sorry. Need to spell my forge very well. Okay, so let me save this guy. So changing the not found so just users interface. Okay, so let me close this terminal. Let me open a new terminal. All right. Let me. Okay. And let me come back. Let me read through this guy. So say that is this okay with remappings, chain contract. Okay, compiling is error. Compiler fail error. Source chain contracts. Okay, let me revisit my boundary.toml remappings chain contract slash equal to lib. Okay, slash link browning contracts slash contracts. Okay, all right. So for having challenge, let's just go to charts. So after this class, nothing's supposed to add you. If you're having challenges, it's supposed to add you. So let's just go to charts and ask, okay, charts, and say copy and comment says, please, after installing dependencies from Chainlink running contracts, and also writing and also writing, what am I writing? Writing please help me fix it. Okay, so let's see what the cell should do. Okay, first number one, to resolve verify dependency installation, ensure that Chainlink branding contract dependency properly installed and run. Git submodule and adds okay, and then this will fetch repository of the okay, so check the directory structure. Okay, updates remapping to this. Okay, explicit imports. Okay, um import aggressive click attribute. Okay, and then okay, so let's implement these guys. Okay, so first of all, let's check if our dependency is installed very well. All right, remember, I think, oh, we've closed that. Um, okay, so get added. Okay, so we don't have issue with that. So that was properly fixed. All right, and then what else? It said that we should recheck this. Yeah, which is correct. Okay, so let me check my boy. Okay, so let's change this guy to this. So let me just copy this and go to my Tomo file and let me see. Okay, what else? What else am I missing? So let me just check. Okay, and okay, let me do this guy. And okay, so if we still run into issue, we'll run back to this guy and say, hey, I think we're still getting it from this guy. Sorry, let me. So he said that explicit importation and this guy. So let us let's import like a cell which will import. So let's just this guy and see if there is anything different for what we did. There's nothing different for what we did initially. Okay. Nothing different from what it did. Still the same thing. Okay, so copy here and say this is the parts of the code having error, and then you press your three black. Okay, V. Oh, sorry. How to edit this guy? Okay, 1, 2, 3. I said, and I am getting this error. All right. So mind you, I've checked this guy today. All right. I've run a test on this guy, and earlier today it ran very well. So all right. So I'm just going to copy this error. And paste it here. And just say, please help me fix it. All right. So the issue lies in the aggregator interface. Foundry cannot locate the file due to the incorrect and misconfigured remapping. Let's fix it. And then this is that this. Okay, so I'm using their configuration. Okay, I'm using their configuration. I'm still having the same issue. Let me go reconfigure this guy. It's going to work. Okay, I think this is going to be a very long night and we don't have all the time. We need to learn something today. Okay, so I think I'm just going to run a test script. Okay, I'll fix this guy later. I think I had to think what's wrong. Invariably, everything is working, supposed to be working very fine. All right. Okay. Chainlink brownie contract is installed. All right, and it is stored very well. Our configuration is okay, and still don't know why this guy is not fetching. But all the same, let us write a test file. Let me show us how to write a test file. Okay, my laptop is already almost gone. All right, there's already total blackout in Nigeria. So okay, so let's run a test file. So we're going to call this guy on me test dot t dot so. Remember when we were writing when we were writing our script, it was dot s dot so. All right, so just still the same thing, still contract. So we'll copy these guys and go and paste it here. So we have to work double. All right, now let's write a contract. I want to call it fun me tests. Okay, now just as the way we imported from when we are writing script, that's how we're still going to import some already inbuilt Foundry test tools, inbuilt tool for testing for Foundry. Okay, so we are going to import tests. To help us test. Remember in script, we imported scripts, yeah? So we are importing from, sorry. Okay, so we just took that, I just took that suggestion because that was what we want, tests. So okay, so we are coming here to say that this guy is tests so that it inherits everything that is in the test contract so that we can use it to deploy our contract, to test our contract. Okay, so let me give us an example so that our day will not just go. My laptop is running. Okay, so let's just have an example. So let's say write a function. Okay, so this function is going to be set up. It's going to be set up function. All right, and it's going to be an external. All right, so we're going to write another function. All right, so two basic functions we're going to be writing when you're testing. All right, so let's call this one test demo. And it's going to be public. Okay, so these two contracts. So let's say we when you are testing your contracts and you're running a test, this guy runs your setup runs before every other things. Now, this guy is your setup. All right, this guy is your is the is all you're testing. Probably a particular function or a particular um variable or a particular setting in your contracts and you want to test it if it's going to work. Okay, so that's it. You test any public variables, any function that is in your in your contract, whether public or whatever. So we're going to talk more about that. All right, so let's just have some example. Let's say, for example, we have a state variable here. So let's just call this one U8 to 56. I will call this guy number. I will say that number is equal to 1. All right, so if I come here and say number is equal to 2, okay. If I say number is equal to 2 here, and then I come here to write a test for number. So what this test does is that it asserts. So asserting is the sense that is if our contract says that A is equal to B. All right, so what is this guy going to test? It's going to test if A is actually equal to B. If A is equal to B, is the testing is going to be is going to run. But if A is not equal to B, the testing is not going to run. All right. So what it does is that it asserts. All right. Now we use this keyword
So you said assert or had start.
assert, 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 ASSERT. All right. So let's say we use this keyword assert equal to is EQ. Okay, and then we test the number. I would say number 2. Okay, so let's write. Oh, sorry. Let's make this guy view. Okay, so I'm going to say forge this. So what it does is that it's going to test. All right, compilation fail. Let me see why this compilation is failing. Oh, I think I'm still having that same issue with this guy. So this guy is going to wreck our class today. Okay, so because of that, it's not running. But what it's supposed to do is, oh God, how am I going to show us this? How am I going to show us this?
So can you try commenting the other code out?
No, fine. Let me see. Let me go back to let me open a new window. Okay, let me. Okay, so let me is it a test? All right, this is a test. Let me delete this guy. Let me comment this guy out. Okay, so let's say here was I. Let me go and copy this guy. And paste it here. Control V. Okay, Control S. Let's see if we're going to have watch tests. All right, so you see that we have a successful compilation here. All right, you see that our test passed. Okay, it has one passed, zero failed, and zero skipped. Okay, now the reason why we are having this aggregator one in here is because our aggregator here, all right, is in Sepolia. All right, this contract here is a when we were collecting price feed from price aggregate used Ethereum Sepolia ETH testnet. Okay, so we collected Ethereum price under Sepolia ETH testnet. Okay, so and this guy is running under MV blockchain, so that's why it's warning us concerning the price. This guy, but after that, it's working very well. Okay, so that's it. Now, if you notice, what we did here is still the same thing what I am doing in this other side, and it's still not working. So don't worry, I had a plan B. All right, so you see that our test is working. Let me go back to our test file. You see that our test is working. Okay, if you see this console here, okay, I'm going to explain this console briefly. Now, if you notice that in the hierarchy of things, um, this function runs first before this function. Okay, so it's going to run this function, this set of functions is going to run the set of function first, and then assert it, confirm if it's actually working. If it's working, it's going to pass. It's not working, it's not going to pass. Okay, so that is it for testing. That's it for testing. So this is just a simple file to test whether two number is equal to 2. Okay, so that's it. Now there is another way of testing, another way of testing and debugging your smart contracts, and that is your console.log. Okay, if you are writing JavaScript, if you are familiar with JavaScript, okay, console.log will not is not going to be a new thing to you. All right, but even if you are not familiar yourself with any programming language, listen and follow us. All right, so console.log is what helps us to log data, like bring out outputs, help us to test data and bring outputs. So what this guy does is just to test the data. All right, it's just to test the data. But what console.log will do is to test the data and then give us an output. Okay, they test the data and then give us an output. So let's say, for example, we want to include console.log to this guy. So we can say console dot log, and then number. And then what this guy does is to output the value of number. Okay, so we can say console dot log, and you can say hello world. All right, so if I test forge test this guy, so let's use what they call verbosity. Let me use verbosity 2 and test it. All right, so you see that compiled and it passed, and it has, okay, let me come up. Okay, let me run this guy again. Sorry. I have to save my changes so that I can see my changes. Sorry about that. Let me run the previous one again. Okay, so now the reason why this first one did not show anything is because after including my console.log, I did not save, so the changes did not apply. All right, so after saving, you see that my logs gave me 2, which is the value of number, and then hello world, which is this write up. All right, so if I come and change this guy to I love my grandma. All right, of course, I love my grandma. All right, so if I change this to I love my grandma, you're laughing. I lost my grandma this week, so she's still fresh in my heart. Um, let's just run this guy again and test. Okay, so it's compiled and we see 2 and I love my grandma. Okay, so that is it for testing. You see how console.log works and how assert equal works as well. Okay, all right. Another thing I want to talk about is that you notice that at first I all right. So at first I typed forge test. All right. Let me number it so we'll see. Hope you can see my screen. Yes. All right. Hope you can see my screen. So at first
Yes.
I all right. So at first I typed forge tests. Okay. And then secondly, I typed forge tests VV. Okay. So we have um what we call verbosity. Verbosity is how um how much you want, how detailed you want the test to be, the test results to be. Okay, so we have sorry, let me, so we have verbosity 1. Okay, let's say verbosity 0, which is V0, and this one is equivalent, this is the same thing as verbosity 0. This one is same thing as like saying V0. Okay, we have verbosity 0, we have V1, V2, V3. Okay, so we know for sure that the more V's you are, the more elaborate is going to be. You understand? I think we still have V4 and V5 or something like that. V4 and V5. All right, so what this does is give us more information about our our testing. So what this does is that it just tells us whether our test fails or not. Like when you come to this first one that we did, you see that it didn't give us any um, further information. It just told us that your your test passed, one passed, zero failed, zero skipped, and all that, and then just a warning. All right, when we use verbosity 2, you see that it gave us more details. All right, it gave us an output. All right, it gave us an output which this one verbosity 1 will not give to us. Even if we are going to use console.log, verbosity 1 will not give us our output. It's just going to give us whether our test runs or not. Okay, most times it's very, if you don't want many unnecessary details, many bulky details, you want to be using the verbosity 2. All right, so if you are running a very complicated or a large test, all right, you want to be using the verbosity 3 or verbosity 4. All right, so to get more details about your tests. All right, so get more details about your test. So today we've learned how to write a test, a simple test. All right, so the difference when we want to write the test for simple storage is just to import our simple storage and then write the test. Okay, so in our next class we are going to write a test and I'm going to write a script for our simple storage. All right, and then hopefully then Nigeria will have light so that we can spend more time in class. We will not be using laptop battery time for our class. Okay, so that's it for writing a test. So in your own free time, you can go and try, see if you can write a test for, see if you can write a test for this. Let me, okay, we are in funding contract. Okay, see if you can write a test for this for minimum USD and see if you can write a test for minimum USD. No, we say that minimum USD should be $5. Abi? Yeah, minimum USD should be $5. So you should go and write a test and see. It just, it's not compulsory. but just write a test and see if you can write a test for minimum USD. But in our next class, we are going to be doing it together. But just go and give it a try. But look at the hint here. You write your imports, write your setup, and then you write your tests. Okay, you don't have to use console.log. You just have to use this and then wrap up everything inside your me dot minimum USDT comma whatever you are testing. All right, so we see that this is the variable, this guy, your left hand, and this is the right hand. Remember I said that assertion is, let me copy this guy. Okay, assertion is assert equal. That means this is A and this is B. And then we've said that in your is testing whether, am I writing? A is equal to B. All right, to B. So that means if we are, I'm just giving us into so that we can go and play. So that means when you're writing yours, it's going to be like something like fund me, because you are writing the from the fund me dot A comma B. So which one is your A? This one is your A.
One is your A. $5.
No,
No.
minimum USDT
Minimum
is
USDT.
$5 is your
Five
B.
dollars is your B.
You get it? That's what we did here now. Our number is our A, while 2 is our B. That's why we wrote number here and then 2. She get. Nobody asks me why are we writing number comma 2. We're writing number comma 2 because we are certain, we are testing whether number is equal to 2. That's the test we are writing here. We are testing this setup here, whether number
Whether
is equal to
number
2. If I come here and say,
is sir,
are you saying
what's the
something?
use of that? What's the use of that state variable? That unit number equals to 1.
You should know by now. Now you should know by now.
We're testing the
Yes, we are testing this guy. We are testing this phone. We are not testing
You're
this
not
guy.
testing it.
Give
Okay.
these guys because, or even if we don't say that number is equal, you should know this by now. It's not supposed to confuse you. Even if we don't say that number is equals to 1 and we just say declare a state variable here and come here and declare and say that number is equal to 2, you get. We are saying this state variable, yes, because this number can be anything, can be a string, can be a bool. She gets. You have to, you are creating a variable, you have to create it to the variable type. When we came here and say number, did you see any variable type here? No, because we've already created number outside as a variable type UN256. She gets.
Okay.
It's not
Yes.
confusing. All right. So we tested that number is 2. Yes, and if we come and say yes, 3. All right, let me save this and run a test. Okay, so let me run the test again. All right, you see that my compilation failed because relevant source path starts here and spans across multiple lines. All right, you see that my compilation failed. Why? Because this guy number is not equal to 2. It's not equal to 3. It's equals to 2. You get? So if I come here and change it to 2 and save it, and then come back and oh, the ball fork is now working. Let me check this guy. Error expected pragma solidity. Yes, pragma solidity. Yes. Pragma expected pragma import directive and directive nation. Conjure test which done compilation error. Oh, sorry. Let me let me see if I think if this is part of my problem. Let me see if that's part of my problem. Okay, so that was just my problem. Just because I did not close this guy. All right, so let me test this guy again. Let me make it 3. Okay, let me make it 3 before my system runs out of battery. Let me make it 3 and run the test. Okay, so now you see that the compilation runs successfully. Okay, and now it's telling me that the output is still log 2 and what think call grammar. You see that the output is 2 and I love grammar, but it failed. The suit failed, one failed, and the reason why it failed is because assertion failed. 2 is not equal to 3. So you see, so we are testing if number is equals to 2, but number is not equal to 2. So we are saying that number is 2 and number is not 3. So if I come back and change it to 2, all right, and I save and I run the test again. You see that the test ran very well. One pass, result okay, and everything is going pass, successful, and all that. That's because you understand what test is now and how to write a test back. This part of the code is not as sad as I've explained it word for word. Assad EQ means Assad equal to, and what is it equal? Is it equating? It's equating that what the your argument here is equal to the argument here. You are testing if this guy is equal to this. If you say that 5 is equal to 23, you are testing if 5 is equal to 23. All right, so virtual will not allow us to go on with this, but any question before we run off? Any question?
No, sir.
Okay, so just go try it. Okay, so just go try it and see if you can write a test for this one is very simple, very straightforward. I'm sorry if I say very simple words, but it's very straightforward. Okay, this minimum USD is equal to this. Okay, it's very straightforward. Just like we say um number is equal to 2. All right, so go try it out. If you can't get it, it's not a big deal. We'll do it together in class. All right. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, what question do I want to ask? I mean, first, I've been able to deploy a simple storage contracts using Foundry. Huh? I'll be able. How many of us? Let's just do this very fast so that how many of us have been able to run one me contract, as I say, one me simple storage using Foundry? How many of us? Let me see your hand. If you have tried it before, let me see your hand. Can how many of you can compile a smart contract using Foundry? Nobody. So nobody have tried it. Hmm? So nobody have tried it.
So we'll try this weekend.
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to be getting from us on Monday is that we've tried it. So we have two things to do. Try, not try, deploy simple storage contracts using Foundry, local hosts. Make sure you are not outcoding your um, private key, store in a key store, and then deploy on Sepolia testnet and verify the contract on Etherscan. Even if you cannot verify the contract on Etherscan, if you have issues verifying the contract on Etherscan, but I want to see your contract on Etherscan. I want to see, even if it's not verified, but I want to have the contract address. Okay, so
Sir,
what
come
you
again.
so what you do for me is that you are going to deploy your simple storage contracts on Sepolia testnet and then send me the contract address. All right. So that's it. It's not difficult. Okay. It's not difficult. If you have challenge, you can always go back to our videos. I believe the last videos we did must have been uploaded um before you start looking for it. Okay, probably tonight or tomorrow morning. Everything should have been uploaded.
Sir?
I say tonight or before tomorrow morning, everything should have been uploaded. So go and try your hands on the Sepolia testnet deployment on Foundry. Deploys simple storage. Okay, simple storage contract. It does it. Try your hands on deploying it on your Anvil localhost first, and then try deploying it to Sepolia testnet. All right, that's it. So deploy to Sepolia testnet and send me the contract address. All right, so that's it. Any question?
No, sir.
All right. Do have a good night. Okay, good to see you, Chidera. Good to see you, Delight. Good to see you, Apolabi. Good to see you, Christabel. All right. Always check up on yourselves. Check up on whoever is not here. You can check up on them. Beulah, Precious, and every other persons that's supposed to be here that are not here. All right. Take care of yourselves and have a beautiful weekend.
Good
Okay.
night,